year?
Yes, it is.
It is.
I can say as an insider, I have some sources.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best time to go.
Yeah.
League is kind of shut down.
Yeah.
And by that time, I need some time off to clear my brain from being around Mike Breslin so often.
Brez is gone. He's on a little vacation.
I feel so good today.
Yeah, he's not here. All right, let's get right into it. LeBron James is heading into his final year of his contract with the Lakers this upcoming season. King James is eligible for an extension beginning on August 4th, and according to Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report, the chatter from competing executives and agents is they do not expect the team to get clarity from LeBron on what direction he is leaning ahead of the draft and free agency. So, listen, obviously LeBron extension talks, it's going to heat up even more once they can officially talk when it gets closer to that time. BT, I'll start with you. Do you believe there is an extension this summer for LeBron?
That's a good question. I'm going to say that yes, there is. It'll be put on the table by the Lakers. What will it be? Will it be a max extension? Can they afford to really do that and then hamstring themselves going forward? Will it be 2 years? I mean, what does LeBron James really want? Does he still want to stay here? All indications that he does want to play for the Lakers. He wants to finish his career in LA. So I said they start talking. And I wouldn't be surprised if there'd been a little back channel talks anyway, because everyone does that. You don't wait until August the 4th to talk to LeBron James about a deal. You start that sooner.
Really? They disobey CBA rules, BT? Who does that?
It's shocking. I know, it's shocking.
Who does that?
Nobody.
I really find this discussion fascinating, and sort of from a gut place, instinct place. I'm thinking that maybe LeBron holds on to that because this extension can get done after August 4th.
Yes.
And I think LeBron will pay a keen eye to what the franchise is doing in the draft, in free agency. Does it look like this team is turning around? I mean, historically, if you look at it, he's used his contract situations as leverage. It was a little surprising a couple years ago when he and AD signed extensions at the same time. I kind of think that it could be in LeBron's interest to kind of forestall those talks and use that as leverage.
Let me ask you guys this. Gut, instinct-wise, do you think he finishes his career in LA? Remember, he'll be 38 years old in December. He's going into year 20, but we've all watched him play basketball. He's not done yet. So, BT, does he finish here if you had to bet now on it?
I say yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he goes to another team, it's just like going to Vegas for your final act. Here's where he'll be.
I say yes as well.
You guys agree? All right. I want to get into Anthony Davis a little bit, because the Anthony Davis not shooting a basketball since April controversy has come to a close. He got in a workout with NBA shooting coach Chris Matthews, better known as Lethal Shooter. And LeBron James, whether this is letting the world know or maybe motivating AD on the side, he said, get it twisted if you want to. In due time, he'll remind you, once again, why he's him, and I can't wait for it to be unleashed. Anthony Davis shooting or not shooting was a thing for a minute. Was that way overblown, Kyle? I know what BT is going to say, because we've had him on the Lake Show podcast. He's going to get a chance to say it again, but...
Well, BT can wait for this one.
Yeah.
No, it's totally overblown.
Okay.
And look, I mean, these guys, let's face it, look at Anthony Davis's run with the Lakers so far these last 3 years. It's been a trying run. I mean, the offseason has always been shorter than normal. The one championship season was way longer than normal. They did the bubble. I mean, I think during this time, especially since AD has spent so much time injured, I think there's some mental health time that he builds in. We all know what the most important thing for AD is, and that's just long-term health. And that kind of strategy into making sure his body's right. It's not necessarily just, the grind of shooting the basketball every day in April, because that's not necessarily what's going to get him on the starting line in October.
Yeah, I think NBA Twitter fans, BT, they think the minute the season ends, guys are in the lab. I don't think they realize that it's actually better for them physically and mentally to step away from the game. This didn't surprise you one bit. We're still, 4 months away from the season starting?
What are we talking about? Get it. The first thing is, his boy that posted that, snappy. Okay?
That can't be the first thing you see from AD after 6 weeks.
I ain't shot the ball since April the 15th. Man, smack him upside the head. But AD was smiling, having a good time.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, as I told you earlier, I talked to some players around the league, former players, current players, and they all say the same thing. You don't start shooting at basketball probably until July, maybe August. As Goon said, you rest your body, but you work on your core. You try to get stronger. You don't want to reach peak conditioning in June. Because what happens when you do get to September and October? You're not the same player. So for people to get this out of shape about this was funny to me, hilarious even. I just thought, oh boy, here we go again. I think he has a lot to prove, and he wants to prove to people that he is still a top 5 two-way player in the league, but he has to do that by being healthy.
I also want to remind people he's not a guy on his rookie contract whose season ended in April. He's been in the league now a long time, 10 years, won a championship, 8-time All-Star, whatever he is. So he kind of knows how to take care of the offseason, and being healthy is the most important thing for Anthony Davis. When he's on the court, he performs. You kind of just alluded to this, BT, so I'm going to go to you, Kyle. You feel like fans and maybe people who cover the league, analysts, always say AD has a lot to prove in terms of reclaiming his spot amongst the elite of the league. For me, my question is, do you think AD feels that way? Is AD the one that's motivated to get into that upper echelon?
I do.
Okay.
I really do. And I think, that there was a long honeymoon phase for AD when he first arrived. He was playing great. He had the perfect co-star, and they won. They won it all. And I think the last 2 years, obviously he's been disappointed by not being on the court. He's made that clear. He's played about only half the games. But I think also he knows that he has that other level, that other gear that we saw in the 2020 playoffs. And he can access that. He just needs to do it more consistently.
And you know what's a bummer for AD, BT? He wins this championship, that coveted title. It's supposed to buy you a little time. It really didn't because of where COVID was and the restart with the season, and then he got hurt. People have kind of forgotten what he did just 19, 20 months ago. So he never really had time that guys usually get when they win a title. Enjoy your off season. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Run around with the trophy. Show everybody.
They didn't have a parade.
They didn't even have a parade. So the narrative that he's not as motivated, or maybe he doesn't want it, is it unfair?
It's unfair.
Yeah.
The one thing I found out about AD is he hates that nickname, street clothes, that was given to him by Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
That bothers AD to no end. But again, he has to get on the court and making sure those clothes he wears are a uniform.
Yeah.
So he wants to prove to people and to himself he can stay healthy. Is it an issue for AD? It is.
Yeah.
But he has to do more than just talk about it. As they would say in the neighborhood, you got to be about it, AD.
Yeah.
Be about it again.
Last thing, Darvin Ham. What kind of impact do you think he'll have on AD?
Toughness. I mean, this is a guy who said it in his press conference, I got shot when I was a kid.
In the face.
But there's never going to be a situation where that man is standing in front of you asking for more toughness that you can't at least respect that.
Yeah. You agree?
He's won 2 championships as a player and as a coach.
Yeah.
And he is, 6'7", 6'8", and 2, let's say 250. That's an imposing figure.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Coming up on May speaks for itself. 8 years as a player in the NBA, where he won a title with the Pistons. 11 years an assistant coach with the Lakers, Hawks, and Bucks. Winning a title with Milwaukee in 2021. Another guy who knows a lot about titles is the Hall of Famer Big Game James. He's now with Press.
All right, James, a lot of talk during the offseason will be about Darvin Ham, no doubt about it. When you heard he was going to be named the Lakers coach, what went through your mind about him?
When I heard he was going to be the head coach? Yes, I love Darvin Ham, and it's fresh. Not to take anything away from the other candidates who had opportunities. In my opinion, the Lakers need a fresh, a little younger boss who's had some time in the league and really has good rapport with players. Sometimes with the head coach, you can't really directly express, not even to the head assistant, but coaches like Darvin Ham, who's out there on the floor working out with guys, you can vent to guys like that. And in hearing stuff like that, you learn from those type of communication opportunities. And he's put in his time. He's a great communicator. Blunt as possible, and that's what you need. You need to be just absolutely blunt from the beginning. I love this choice.
Yeah, he made no mistake about it. He said everyone will be accountable on this team. Talked a lot about sacrifice and a lot about playing better defense. From what you saw from his opening comments, which I thought came on a great introductory press conference, you impressed?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Honest. Look, I'm not trying to sugarcoat this. This is how it's going to be if you want to play for the Lakers. This is an organization that has a history of winning. That's all we want to do is win championships. So he's been, here back when, Mike Brown, I think Byron Scott even, and now he's been in the league, Milwaukee lately. So he's ready. He's ready. And I just think for what you need as far as communicating with the players, it can't be soft. It has to be straightforward. That way you don't have time to deal with trying to please someone or trying to see what works for a particular player. And I think he knows how to do that. But as a coach, boom, this is what it is, and everything else will take care of itself.
Some former NBA players get lucky. Steve Nash named a head coach right away.
Yeah.
Our friend Derek Fisher named a head coach pretty close to the end of his playing career. Darvin Ham's the opposite. He was in the G League for a while as a coach. Then he was an assistant for several years with Atlanta, with Milwaukee, as you mentioned, the Lakers. Does he get players' respect because he really worked to hone his craft for over a decade from the time he started as an assistant to the time he was named the Lakers head coach?
Absolutely. He's been out there pregame when the guys are stretching.
Yeah.
He's been tossing back basketball. He's working on footwork with guys. And, Darvin's been one of those coaches that will just tell you. You might be complaining about something. You're not getting any calls, and he might say, well, maybe you can get some offensive rebounds. Maybe you can do some other things. You're worried about scoring too much. That's what you need. And he has a reputation, of having that type of attitude, not afraid to look at the video and say, hey, this is what we need. And guys respect that. And when you have that, that installed in you early in the season, and that's the way it's going to be, and you can accept that constructive criticism. In any job, you have to be able to accept that if you're going to get better. But the word sacrifice for the sake of the team, maybe less shots, maybe means coming off the bench and controlling that. Whatever that role is going to be, Darvin Ham is going to be the right messenger, and it'll be the right decisions that he'll make for this team, in my opinion.
Talking about a guy who always makes the right decisions, right here next to me, James Worthy. Thanks for the time.
A legendary look when he was drafted back in BT, 1996.
Remember that year, PT?
How about that look? Look at the top hat. Did you like covering Samaki? I did. Yeah. Very nice young man. Played hard, played two positions, but he was just this really kind, spirited person. How were you born? Yet.
I was born.
Yeah. Hold on, man. Hold on. That was a dig. Samaki to
Hey, you read it.
Big shot robs shot. Remember, at halftime of that game, Samaki Walker hit a half-court shot to get the Lakers from like 21 to 18 or something, but it wouldn't have counted in today's NBA because they would have reviewed it. It was actually let go right after. But it counted, and Rob hit that shot and won. Little known fact for all of you. And with that...
Wait, the shot that made Robert Horry big shot didn't even count?
No. Yeah, that did. Samaki in the same game hit a half-court shot at halftime.
And they only
That
won
wouldn't
by
have
two,
counted.
Right? They only won
And
by
they
two.
only won by two.
I really just wanted a reason to make fun of Rob.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Anyway.
Hi, Allie.
Hi, here I am.
How's it going?
With that said, I want to ask you guys really quick before we move into this segment. You work out?
Yep.
A lot?
I'll do some burpees.
What you doing right now? How many days a week?
4 is
Very convincing.
4 is a great week. 4 to 5 is a great week.
How much money do you invest in your workouts? How much money do you invest in your body to be at the top of your...
I pay Richard Jefferson a lot of money at Soho Yoga.
Shout out.
Yeah.
BT, why are you not speaking?
Yeah, why am I the only one talking? Kyle, do you work out?
Are you kidding me?
I'm giving you guys an opportunity
I'm just
right
saying,
here.
like, do you like, the gym membership is what, 150?
I do work out.
Basically, what they're saying is they're not LeBron James.
Yeah, no, we are not. We are not. Sorry.
I just wanted to prove a point. He took to Instagram, check this out, to show that he's back in the gym. He posted this pic with the caption, "Yeah, I know I'm a lunatic to the grind." He said it, not us. Plenty of time left for LeBron.
Ooh.
That's what you look like, BT.
Lean LeBron.
On the court. But what about life after hoops? On the latest episode of The Shop on Uninterrupted YouTube channel, LeBron discussed just that.
Year 20 coming up.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, by the way?
What?
Would you go on TV? Would you be on...
I don't know. I'll be watching that stuff a little bit.
Like when Tom Brady signed up for TV, were you like, maybe that's...
Yeah, when I seen how much he signed for it. Right, I did.
Damn, they
I
get
would
you do it?
Yeah, I would. I would. Yeah, for sure.
I think you should be a
Why?
movie star,
Because-
you know.
I mean, one, my knowledge of the sport and and being able to have my insight on the sport and still be around the game. I want to stay around the game for sure forever.
But like when you're doing it, on Twitter during the playoffs, you know people gonna talk about what LeBron said.
Yeah, for sure.
Why do you choose to do that? Bud?
What did he say?
It doesn't say anything. He's
I've
just
comment him sitting next to him watching the game. He'll tweet something and then it'll show up on TV.
Yeah, like right away.
Then you say, why do you do it?
Why do I do it? I feel like it's
because you know people gonna talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And I won't. I'm letting people know I'm still engaged.
He's a fan.
I'm a fan of the game. I'm engaged in the game, and I care about our sport. And I know everything about our sport. Like literally, like I know everything that goes on with our sport, and I want to continue to help our sport grow.
So after retirement, LeBron can obviously do whatever he wants. We know that. He is the first active NBA billionaire, and according to Forbes, holding over $121 million. And you see that list right there. Quite the company. We know BT, we forgot to put you on there, but we know you're on there. But
Don't do it again, okay? Please.
noted. Post-career, though, which direction do you guys see LeBron going in?
Owner.
Yeah?
I think he wants to sit at the table with these other guys and billionaires at the top of the league and look at some of the richest people in America eye to eye and be able to grow the league from that seat. He was just talking about it. He likes to stay engaged throughout the playoffs, let people know he's watching the game. The game is his life. He's spent more than half his life in the NBA. It's kind of mind-boggling. I don't see him leaving it once his playing career is over.
PT, I think he's going to own a lot of things.
Yes.
An NBA team is one of them. When it comes to TV, Allie, I think it'll be like a drop in. And when he drops in, it's must-see TV, but it's not going to be like TNT all the time.
I mean,
just can't see it.
could that be like a Magic ownership role where he
I think
also...
something like that.
Maybe.
He would be a multi-level entrepreneur. Because he also already owns some interest with the soccer team, right? Maybe he goes into the NFL, maybe basketball. Although NBA
Red
is
Sox
saying right
ownership?
now that they're not looking to expand, right?
Yeah.
No. So
Would we ever get him for an off-day access show like we did?
Bucket or brick? Can BT pull that off? Probably. Brick. Going to break. Still to come. Austin Reeves. We love you.
I think you guys are going to like this. Reeves, for an undrafted rookie, had a phenomenal year for the Lakers. Prior to joining the team last season, he told this to his agent, the reason why he wanted to play in the NBA. I looked him in his eyes and I was like, to tell everybody to... You know what off, Kyle. My whole life I've been too skinny, not athletic enough. At one point I wasn't skilled enough. Everybody found excuses for me not to. It was always, we're going to find something about him that he can't do good enough to make it. Austin Reeves. I can relate. That's what they told me the day I walked in this studio.
That's why
That I was not good enough, and I have told them all the same thing. BT, chip on your shoulder is always a good thing. Why is Allie laughing over there? This is now one of my all-time favorite quotes. He wanted to be in LA. What kind of jump do you expect him to take in year two?
my understanding is he's working out now. He's in the lab, getting his game together, getting prepared for the next season because he wants to have an expanded role. I think he takes another jump. He'll be used to playing 82 games, so his legs won't become as tired. His jump shot won't be as flat.
Yeah.
But I expect him to be a top 7 role player for the Lakers next season.
Kyle, what are a couple things he should be working on to take that jump?
I mean, obviously, like I think one of his best qualities was just sort of his awareness for what he was supposed to be doing on defense, and just kind of get more locked into that. To touch on something BT said, the legs. I've heard that from players over and over again. The physicality of the game and requiring enough strength in your legs is hard, especially when you look at how his shooting dropped off in the second half of the year. So he's got to get the leg strength and make them durable enough so it lasts, especially in the shooting element.
How about for a young man who's undrafted to say, I actually want to go to LA. I want to play with guys like AD and LeBron because I want to show everyone that I belong in this league.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a certain mentality.
I think he wanted to see a street light because growing up in Arkansas, he had heard about it.
Yeah,
He'd never
they're real.
actually seen one. But no, I mean, it's an aggressive mentality, and people with LA will resonate with that.
That just shows he had belief in himself.
Yeah.
That he could be a really good basketball player playing with 2 of the best in the league.
Yeah.
And playing for one of the top franchises in all of sports.
And he became a big-time rotational player.
Yes, he did.
For the Lakers. Pretty impressive. All right. Hi.
Easy, Kyle. Small towns, we do have streetlights, okay?
Yeah, by the
I'm coming
way.
from one myself.
Go Van Wert.
Go Van Wert, shut up. Thank you. That's why you're good at your job.
More cows are people.
Chip on his shoulder, as Geeter mentioned, the perfect phrase I would say to use when it comes to best understanding who the Lakers had in their undrafted rookie, who ended up maximizing legitimate rotational minutes. Austin Reeves quickly became not only a fan favorite, but a favorite of one of the greatest to ever play the game in his teammate, LeBron James. So to better understand number 15, our backstage cameras takes us a
Is to get stronger as the season gets longer. So that'll be my number one goal, is to try to lessen some of the wear and tear on LeBron, because I feel like he's shown that that level he's playing at is not going anywhere anytime soon. So I just want to try to help and assist him with being able to sustain that level.
All right, just heard Darvin's goals for LeBron heading into next season, season number 20. I want to hear your goals for some players that I'm going to name. You're going to set some goals for them for next season. BT, you're up first with LeBron James.
LeBron James. I'd like to see him play off the ball a little bit more. I think he can be more effective offensively, and that would also allow him to preserve his body some more, to play less minutes. Having him play 35 minutes a game at 37 now, about to be 38, 20 years in the league, that's a lot to ask. Now, of course, he's pushing for a big-time record. He's trying to pass Kareem for the all-time leading scorer. So there's that to think about. But to preserve his body, the idea that the Lakers will make a long playoff run.
Yeah, mine is about leadership, and it's ditch the bad body language. Because if you look at the 2 seasons that LeBron has had with the Lakers, where the season has kind of gone downhill, he's had great statistical years, but toward the end when it's kind of murky how this team's going to do, when it doesn't feel like they're going to win games they need to win. I mean, LeBron's body language commands so much respect from the guys, or it doesn't. It tells them, oh, LeBron thinks we're out. And they take their cues from their leader. And I think Darvin knows that, and he's going to preach high accountability with this group next year. So I think he's going to ask LeBron, hey man, like, even if things aren't going well, give me just your best belief.
Can't check out. Got to be engaged the whole time.
And defense is a part of that, but just
I hear you.
overall body language.
All right, Darvin says, BT, let's sit down for lunch. We're going to set some goals for Russ.
Russ is easy, actually. Take better care of the basketball to start. He was 5th in the league in turnovers at about 3.8 per game. I think he had something like 295 total turnovers, which was second in the NBA. He's got to take better care of the ball to give his team more chances to have an opportunity to score. His defense can be better. It has to be better. And shooting. Let's just take his free throw shooting. He shot something like 66.7% from the free throw line. That's just not going to get it. I don't know if he can improve as a three-point shooter. He can work on that, obviously, but the free throw shooting has to be better.
What about for you, Kyle Goon? Kyle Goon, come out to lunch. Let's set some goals.
It's going to be a long lunch, I think. But it's stop worrying about the stats. Worry about winning. And Russ, I think, by his own exit interview comments, showed us that his version of sacrifice is, well, I didn't get a triple-double every game. And so that was my sacrifice. But what he really needs to do to become a better player, it's not a secret. The last staff knew it, and this staff knows it. He's got to play more off ball, set more screens. He's got to rebound better. He's got to be a dirty work type player. He's got to pay attention to rotations on defense. That's what's going to win games for this team. And then every now and then, be that athletic force.
How hard is that to convince a player like Russ that that's how you have to do it to win?
Very difficult. And as we saw last year, it didn't happen with that coaching staff. Now, Darvin Ham, I think he's a man of great gravitas. He's a former player. You have a year of Russ saying, okay, what we did last year didn't work. And maybe that convinces him more. It is very, very challenging.
Here's a good one. Anthony Davis. You've missed 79 games over the past couple of seasons. Here are some goals we are setting for you. Go, BT.
It sounds simple, and we keep saying it all the time. Stay healthy. Do some preventive work during the summertime, during the season, to keep your body right. So these injuries that are taking place, maybe you can avoid some of them. The three-point shooting, I might just stop that totally. This was in the right rhythm. He shot so poorly from three-point range, 17% or something like that? You just can't have that. And play with fours. The name that Darvin Ham brought up was Giannis. In my estimation, AD has more skills than Giannis, but Giannis plays hard all the time. He plays as if he does not want to ever leave the NBA to be shipped back to Greece or to Africa, wherever he's from. He plays as if he wants to be here all the time.
Yeah.
AD does not show that enough, and he needs to.
Wherever he's from.
Yeah.
No, BT's right though. I mean, it's all the name of the game is, and I put it this way: be in uniform. But we're saying the same thing. We're saying Anthony Davis. I think he did show up in a certain kind of shape last year, but there were some freakish injuries, and he has a different body type than a lot of players. I mean, he's definitely a more fluid athlete at his size, and so bulkiness doesn't exactly help him play his best game. But it's just be in uniform in the cases when you can play, be tough, play through it, and just show that want. I mean, a little bit more of that. Hey, I want to be in this league for a long time.
How about I sit in on that lunch and I told Darvin, not only does he have to do the physical work, but I think there needs to be some mental work as well and a mindset change. I think he needs to play like he's never won a championship. I think he lost confidence because of injury after injury makes you play a different way, and you don't see him attack the same. I think if he can get that mindset back, then we'll see the AD from 2020. But BT, that's what scares me.
Look, we saw him in the bubble. He was incredible.
Yep.
The three-point shot he hit to beat Denver. The way he played in the finals against Miami. When they lost the game 1 to Phoenix last year in the playoffs, he was by himself. He became a force the next couple of games before he got hurt again.
Yeah.
That's the AD that I want to see, that Darvin wants to see, that we all want to see all the time.
I have another good one.
Okay.
Producer Ryan Trainer did a nice job putting this nice little list together.
Okay.
THT.
Oh.